a young woman named Su-jin is holding 2 train tickets. She checks her watch as the train arrives. Later, she steps into a phone booth and breaks down in tears. That night, Su-jin buys a soda from a convenience store and leaves. Not long after, she remembers she forgot the drink. When she goes back, she runs into a man holding it. She grabs the soda, gulps it down until it's empty, and hands it back. The man just smiles. On the bus, Su-jin realizes she left her wallet, so she returns to the store. The clerk gives her both her wallet and her soda. Shocked that the one she drank earlier wasn't hers, she looks for the man but doesn't see him again. At home, Su-jin's family quietly eats breakfast, the air filled with tension. Her father is still upset with her for being involved with a married man. When Su-jin goes back to work, a rude coworker tells her she's friends with her ex-boyfriend's wife. Su-jin is left speechless. Months later, Su-jin's father seems to have softened. He takes her to the construction site where he works as the CEO. There, he notices 2 workers arguing. The foreman, Cheol-soo, refuses to pour the concrete, saying it isn't safe yet. As Cheol-soo walks out of the building, Su-jin spots him and realizes he's the man from the convenience store. Back at her office, renovations are still incomplete. Su-jin tells her boss she knows someone who can help and calls her father, who agrees to send someone. When the elevator opens, Su-jin sees Cheol-soo and quickly hides, embarrassed. Later, at a vending machine, she's shocked when Cheol-soo grabs the soda and drinks it all before she can. On her way home, a motorcyclist snatches Su-jin's bag. Just then, Cheol-soo swings his car door open, and the thief crashes right into it. With his windshield broken from the impact, Cheol-soo simply removes it and drives Su-jin home. The next day, Su-jin fixes herself up and even brings snacks, only to find Cheol-soo isn't at the office. That night, she goes out with friends and deliberately passes by the place where Cheol-soo and his co-workers are eating. He is busy carving when the women approach. Su-jin tells them they just happened to pass by and saw him. The men quickly offer their seats to the ladies. Later, after everyone gets drunk, only Cheol-soo and Su-jin remain. He holds her hand, pours her a glass of soju, and says if she drinks it, they're officially together. Su-jin drinks, and Cheol-soo kisses her. The 2 begin dating and often visit a batting cage, where Cheol-soo teaches Su-jin how to hit. They're happy and deeply in love. At his apartment, Su-jin notices the sculpture he's carving, but he snatches it away and throws it aside. Upstairs, she discovers he's studying to become an architect. When she tries to open a drawer, Cheol-soo warns her not to or he'll kick her out. She later finds a photo of him with an older man, who he says is his teacher. Eventually, it's revealed that the sculpture is Su-jin's face. Su-jin makes a suit for Cheol-soo, which he wears to take the architecture exam. Afterward, he finds her waiting outside, and they go home together. One morning, Su-jin's father tells her he's heard rumors about her seeing someone and insists on meeting him. Su-jin asks Cheol-soo to meet her parents, but he refuses. She explains that if they plan to marry, he must meet them, but he still says no. During dinner, Cheol-soo admits he doesn't want to commit, fearing they'll only end up hurt. Suddenly, Su-jin's parents arrive, and he's caught in an awkward situation. Her father is shocked to see that the man dating his daughter is his foreman. Cheol-soo tries to leave, but Su-jin stops him. The table falls into silence. Su-jin excuses herself and heads to the restroom. While she's gone, her father insults Cheol-soo, who stands to leave, until her father adds that he's fired. After washing her face, Su-jin looks blank and walks aimlessly outside in the rain. Later, she is found collapsed on the street. At the hospital, the doctor explains she fainted from severe stress but will recover after some rest. When she wakes, she hugs Cheol-soo tightly as her father quietly watches. Soon after, Su-jin marries Cheol-soo. At their home, wedding photos are displayed beside his architect license. One day, smoke fills the kitchen because Su-jin forgot to turn off the stove. She apologizes, but Cheol-soo just smiles and carries her to their room. At the site, Su-jin's father introduces a developer named Mr. Hwang to Cheol-soo. Mr. Hwang takes him to a vacant hill where he plans to build houses. Cheol-soo begins drafting a model house. When he later presents it to Mr. Hwang and his team, he gets nervous, but touching his cuff reminds him of his wife, giving him courage to continue. Mr. Hwang seems pleased. Cheol-soo calls Su-jin, and she happily celebrates when she hears he won the contract. Construction soon begins. That evening, Su-jin becomes anxious, fearing she lost her way home. She feels relief only when she reaches their house and sees Cheol-soo. She later visits a neurologist, who asks if she had past stress that caused blackouts. She recalls her painful past with a married man who abandoned her at a train station. The doctor advises her to return for MRI and CT scans. One morning, Cheol-soo's mother visits his office asking for a loan. Angry, he refuses, saying he owes her nothing. She admits she borrowed money from gangsters and her life is at risk. He still rejects her, and she storms out. At the hill site, the couple dream about building their own house there. Cheol-soo tells her to be patient, that one day their home will stand on that very lot. She smiles and embraces him. Later, he takes Su-jin to the temple where his old teacher works. Over lunch, he shows the wall frame sculpture he created. While he steps away for water, his teacher asks Su-jin if Cheol-soo has introduced his mother to her. She answers no. The teacher explains Cheol-soo likely hasn't forgiven her yet. That night, Su-jin secretly unlocks his drawer and finds foreclosure papers with his mother's name and address. She goes to the seized house. When she later urges Cheol-soo to help his mother, he refuses, saying he worked hard to save for their dream house. Su-jin argues they cannot truly live happily there if he ignores his mother. Furious, Cheol-soo smashes a glass. He reveals his mother abandoned him as a child. Su-jin reminds him how her own father forgave her after she ran off with a married man, even blessing their marriage. She hugs him gently. The next day, Cheol-soo visits his mother in prison, but she still shows resentment. Later, he meets the gang member and pays her debt of 90,000. That night, at a cheap diner, he tells Su-jin they're now broke. She brushes it off and offers to pay for dinner. Cheol-soo laughs softly and hugs her. At the clinic, the doctor asks Su-jin simple questions, like the date, her age, and her sister's birthday, but she struggles to answer. He places her in an MRI scanner. At work, Su-jin learns her ex, Young Min, has returned from Paris. He says they'll now work together, but this time he's single, while she is married. He apologizes for disappearing before, but Su-jin says she doesn't remember and walks away. One evening at home, Su-jin is gluing paper as Cheol-soo watches nearby. Suddenly, she looks for something, opens the door, and peers outside. When she turns back, she asks Cheol-soo where he went, though he never moved. He just smiles. Su-jin then thanks him for putting glue on the paper, leaving Cheol-soo puzzled. Back at the clinic, the doctor reviews her scans and tells her she has a rare form of Alzheimer's disease. Shocked, Su-jin denies it, but the doctor explains medicine can only slow it down. He warns that soon she won't manage daily tasks and will eventually forget her loved ones, and even herself, once her memories are gone. Su-jin is devastated and breaks down in tears. Su-jin later tells Cheol-soo she will quit her job tomorrow and just stay home to do the chores. Cheol-soo says he likes that idea but asks why. She doesn't answer, she just kisses him. Moments later, Su-jin hides in the bathroom, breaking down in tears. The next day, Su-jin prepares breakfast, straightens Cheol-soo's tie, and hands him his packed lunch. Cheol-soo smiles as he leaves. Later, Su-jin wakes up to a phone call. It's Young Min, reminding her she can't resign without notice and asking her to meet him. Su-jin replies she will go to the office. At the site, Cheol-soo eats lunch with Mr. Hwang and his team. When he opens his lunchbox, both containers have only rice with no side dishes. He immediately grows worried. On her way to the office, Su-jin suddenly becomes disoriented. She sits against a building until a police officer approaches to help. When he asks where she's going, she admits she doesn't know. Cheol-soo visits Su-jin's doctor and refuses to believe the diagnosis. In anger, he grabs the doctor and demands to know if he's certain. Nurses pull Cheol-soo away and explain the doctor's wife also died of Alzheimer's, and he spent half his life studying it. Cheol-soo asks if there's any cure. The doctor sadly says no. He shares how he once took his wife back to the place they first met, and she remembered everything. For a moment, he felt she was healed. But just 3 hours later, she asked who he was. Cheol-soo calls Su-jin's phone, but a stranger answers, saying he found it on the street and is looking for her. Meanwhile, Su-jin is still walking with the officer when they run into Young Min. Su-jin immediately recognizes him, calls his name, and grabs his hand. They sit on a bench, and Young Min asks if they can go back to the way they were. For a moment, Su-jin's memory returns, but she leaves him behind and gets into a cab. That night, Cheol-soo finds her at the batting cage. Su-jin notices his teary eyes and realizes he knows about her condition. She tells him they should part because love means nothing if she can't remember him. But Cheol-soo says he will remember everything for her. She pleads for him to let her go, but he refuses, saying they'll start fresh every day, like endless dating, and it will be wonderful. He embraces her, and they return home. Their house soon fills with sticky notes and photos of them together. Cheol-soo tests Su-jin, and she can still recall their names and address. Before he leaves for work, Su-jin asks him to come home early for his mother's birthday dinner. She has invited their families and his old teacher. While cooking, Su-jin stares at the calendar, drifting into confusion. A knock comes at the door. It's Young-min. Su-jin smiles and welcomes him inside, begging him not to leave her again. Stunned, Young-min asks what's wrong. Just then, Cheol-soo arrives and confronts him. Su-jin trembles, asking who Cheol-soo is. Furious, Cheol-soo punches Young-min and drags him outside, beating him further. Their families soon arrive, and Su-jin suddenly collapses. Cheol-soo explains her condition to everyone. Her father admits it runs in the family and tells Cheol-soo they will take her in, warning he may not endure what lies ahead. But Cheol-soo insists he will care for his wife himself. The next morning, as Cheol-soo prepares to leave for work, Su-jin calls him Young-min and says, "I love you." Cheol-soo answers with a forced smile, then steps outside and breaks down. Later, Cheol-soo tells the doctor that Su-jin no longer recognizes him, calling him by her ex-lover's name. The doctor explains that recent memories are the first to fade, so she only clings to what remains in her mind. Su-jin looks at the notes and photos covering their home. Suddenly, her memories return, and she realizes everything Cheol-soo has done for her. Overcome, she weeps. That evening, Cheol-soo comes home to find a letter on the table. In it, Su-jin apologizes for breaking his heart. She writes that he is the only one she loves, but instead of giving him happiness, she has only caused him pain. She tells him she is leaving and asks him to meet her father to petition for divorce. Cheol-soo goes to her father and rips up the divorce papers. His father-in-law urges him to return to work and not throw away his life and fortune for his daughter, but Cheol-soo ignores the advice and continues searching for Su-jin. He even files a missing person report with the police. Later, at the batting cage, he imagines Su-jin cheering for him, but when he runs to her, it vanishes. He breaks down in tears. One day, Cheol-soo discovers a letter Su-jin wrote. He rushes to his car, and while driving, her voice narrates its contents. She explains she strangely remembers everything, though it may not last, so she wanted to leave him this letter. She tells him he can let her go now, find someone kind, and be happy. She begs him not to look for her, saying goodbye. Cheol-soo finally arrives at the hospital, where a nurse leads him to Su-jin. He finds her sitting outside, sketch pad in hand. When she drops it, he picks it up and sees drawings of himself. Su-jin thanks him, then asks who he is. With a heavy heart, Cheol-soo smiles and introduces himself, saying it's nice to meet her. Over lunch, Su-jin comments that the smell feels familiar but cannot recall why. She notices Cheol-soo's tears and asks why he is crying. He struggles to answer. Later, he asks the nurse for permission to take Su-jin on a trip. He brings her to the convenience store where they first met. As Su-jin is about to go inside, Cheol-soo opens the door, holding a soda for her. She touches it but doesn't take it, stepping in instead. Inside, the attendant is the doctor, and the cleaner is Cheol-soo's teacher. Among the customers, she sees her sister, mother, and father, weeping beside Cheol-soo's mother. With tears in her eyes, Su-jin turns to Cheol-soo and asks if this is heaven. The movie closes with the couple riding together in the car. Cheol-soo hands her the sculpture he once carved and whispers "I love you." Su-jin embraces him, and we see them driving toward the mountains.